This channel is not for children, neither is it for the weak of heart or mind. Viewer discretion is advised.
Greetings, friends. I thought I would do something a little different this time around. Something, let's say, not scripted. I'm just gonna wing it. Now, lately, I've been making videos, or in my recent videos, I've been emphasizing my contempt for modern paganism, let's say, or modern paganism, Druidism, Wicca, stuff like that. The way it just, I think it's so phony. Now, there are people who abide by these philosophies that personally I like, I've met, liked, I've dealt with. They're fine as individuals go. But the crap they buy into, I don't get the appeal. Now, I've mentioned a few times my own personal journey, let's say, into the occult, and the way I was attracted to paganism, because, well, a lot of it has to do with history. I love history. And I love to tap into my, let's say, personal heritage. So I have a fascination with, let's say, Celtic mythology and, Celtic history and all that good stuff. And a lot of what is considered modern paganism is a really fucked up interpretation of Druidism. Okay, it's some silly shit. I'll put it that way. Some feel good. Druids were a bunch of happy tree lovers who were, ancient ecologists maybe in their eyes. Who loved the goddess and loved nature and blah, 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 which is pure horseshit. And also, coming up within, I don't know, a couple of weeks from now, roughly 3 weeks from now, will be the solstice. Okay, the summer solstice. And in England, I don't want to call them half-wits, but anyway, they will go to Stonehenge, and they will gather in Stonehenge, and chant and bang drums and do hallucinogens and dance around and whatever the hell hippies do. Now, I watched this recent video. I think it was done by Vice, where this young woman was interviewing different individuals, and first guy she interviewed outside of Stonehenge, he didn't want to have to pay to park or some such shit, and so he stayed outside. He wasn't going to go into the gathering or whatever. And she asked him his name, and his name was Arthur Pendragon. I was thinking, well, that's fucking original. And then when she goes inside, she decides, okay, I'm going to find a real druid, not just a partier, but a real druid. And she comes across this older, I don't know how much older he is, but gray-haired guy, whatever, looking like Gandalf. And she asked, well, what's your name? And he goes, my name is Merlin. I was just going, fuck. Where the fuck is the originality? Come on, you fucking people. And it was showing these individuals going up to the stones there, Stonehenge, leaning up against them and practically, making love to these things. And I couldn't help but think to myself, what if you were to take a Neolithic person, one of those who helped build this structure back 4,000 years ago, roughly, give or take, and bring him up to now. And let's say you could communicate with him and ask him, say, okay, that right there, that Stonehenge there that we call Stonehenge, what was that? What was it made for? What was the function of it? And let's say the guy goes, what, that thing? And he goes, that was a fucking strip mall. You know what I mean? What if it had just a mundane function? What if it wasn't this? Well, they say, well, it aligns with the equinoxes, or excuse me, with the solstice, and, winter solstice, summer solstice, whatever, so on and so forth. What if that was pure coincidence? And it was where, let's say, vendors gathered. I don't know. Now, the biggest problem with this modern pagan thing, whatever the hell it is that these individuals are afraid of reality and the reality of the self, and that big aspect of the self called the shadow. Now, the gods reflect aspects of the psyche. I've brought this up in many videos. And a huge aspect of the psyche is the shadow. And for an individual to be whole, one must come to terms with the shadow, or as Carl Jung put it, shadow integration. You must integrate the shadow. And for me, I guess it's just my nature. Fluffy shit, the singing and dancing, and like I brought up before, holding hands, that crap has no appeal to me. First off, I'm not collectivistic type. I'm not the feel-good type. I much prefer dealing in reality than pretend, if you will. When I emphasize the left-hand path, the aspect of the left-hand path I'm emphasizing is a deep primal road, I guess you could say, to the shadow self. It's a dark road to reality. Think about it. Now, imagine living an existence of pure bliss, happiness for eternity. Would you really want that? In the end, it would be hell. Think about it. It's like the Christian interpretation of heaven. It would be hell. My hell, at least. The way I would see hell. Because part of being alive is pain, is anger, is frustration. All those things. This is where I become, I get more into Nietzschean philosophy, let's say. These are all powerful aspects of being a human being, of being alive. And I feel that when your philosophy is to feel good, you lose touch with what it is to be human, truly real. I don't want to lie to myself. I'm not one of those who can lie to themselves. I know a lot of people have that ability. A lot of people have the ability to ignore their doubts, to believe shit because they want it so badly to be true. They'll push aside any doubt they might have, suspend disbelief. I can't do that. So for me, and represented in the sect, I'm trying to, well, I'm not trying, I am piecing together a connection, let's say, between the modern left-hand path with the ancient primal, with the primal self. Because for many, many hundreds of thousands of years, human beings lived a primal life. Civilization is unnatural. We have only been civilized for, at the most 6,000 years. Civilization originally popped up in ancient Sumeria, roughly 6,000 years. And even then, plenty of us, be it basically anywhere else around the planet except for maybe China and Egypt, were primitive. We were primitive people. And it's a part of who we are. It's innately, it's in us. It's in us. And we lived a brutal lifestyle. It doesn't mean I want to go back and live that brutal lifestyle where I'm constantly in fear of my neighbors, wondering if some other tribe's going to come over the hill and conquer my tribe. I don't want to live that lifestyle. But that innate part of who we are, we can't lose. It's still inside. And by pretending the gods are feel good, huggy kissy, fluffy fucking bunnies, you are lying to yourself. The gods are brutal, and they will always be brutal. And you can put a veneer of bullshit over them if you want. You know, you can make them glossy. You can turn them into cartoon characters, whatever. The gods are real. They are real aspects of who you are, of who we were. And we should never lose that.